Good morning, good evening, good night. We're watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins. Welcome to the Leaning Tower of Sydney, part 446. Sydney building abandoned. What is happening? Well, you know when people do rush, shoddy jobs, people don't kind of cut corners. I don't think it's the architect. I don't think it's the engineer. I honestly think it's some of the workers that are honestly working, under pressure, deadlines, and within budget, right? So, Sydney buildings abandoned 8 months ago after residents forced out. At least 30 loft-style apartments remain abandoned in the Zetland, Sydney's inner east, 8 months after residents were forced to evacuate over water and safety defects. I thought they brought water to Australia many years ago. Like plumbing and stuff, and they've got that figured out. You know, one would think, right? The building is the third residential unit block to suffer severe defects, forcing evacuation following Sydney Olympic Park's Opal Tower. Well, I've been covering the Opal Tower here for months now. Well, months ago of Christmas time, and this is right here. Tower evacuated on Christmas Eve, and Mascot Towers on Bourke Street last month. The New South Wales government is in talks over proposed reforms as part of the Building Stronger Foundations package. I honestly don't think it's that, okay? I think it's just build. Time, we have a time limit on this. We have this, we have that. Investors will pull out. Investors will walk away. We got to get this thing done, blah, blah, blah. And now but I think, let's find out how old this building, let's watch this guy here.
Abandoned in an inner eastern suburb. Style apartments remained abandoned in an inner eastern suburb of Sydney 8 months after residents were forced to evacuate over water and safety defects. The Sydney Morning Herald reports the occupants moved out of the apartments in Zetland last year. This is now the third residential unit building to suffer severe defects, forcing evacuation. Sydney Olympic Park's Opal Tower.
Yeah, this is the Opal Tower right here.
Was evacuated on Christmas Eve, and Mascot Towers on Bourke Street last month. The New South Wales government is in talks over proposed reforms as part of the Building Stronger Foundations package.
I honestly, again, let's go back to square one here. A lot of it has to do with rushing. And no, I'm not talking about Russian collusion or Russians. I mean rushing work, time limits, constraints, within budget. That's the key. You see, when a company isn't profitable, guess what? They stop what they're doing. And what do you do if all you know to do is build towers and all you've been is in the tower skyscraper industry for your whole life? Price of labor gets more expensive. Price of material goes to crap because it's junk. But the price of material still goes up. You would think you'd be paying, if you're paying more for material, it might be better quality, but it's not even that. So, I don't know if you guys remember back in 2006, 7, and 8, and 9 down in the United States with the Chinese drywall, where builders were using Chinese drywall because it was a lot cheaper than buying it locally at Lowe's or Home Depot or other places like that. So, you would, they were buying it cheaper from China, but then all these people have these upper respiratory breathing problems, right? And insurance companies were trying to avoid those calls and just trying to put people on the back burners with that, even though it's not the person's fault. So not to go too much off topic here, but I honestly think it's a mix of everything. I don't think the engineer is going to purposely lose his license or put his license on the line purposely or just to save a builder 20-30 grand. I don't think that's the case here. I honestly think it's just shoddy material. I have, look what's happened in China with all those skyscrapers, right? They're falling apart at the seams. I honestly think there's a lot more involved than this. I honestly think there's a lot more underlying things. And I think if sitting on this if whoever's sitting on this board of Stronger Foundation, I think they need to start looking at different avenues for especially maybe ground testing and making sure the maybe ground testing 5 years or 4 years in advance before building, just to make sure the foundation could support what they're building on there. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an engineer, right? So there's many ways to approach this, right? And kind of find an answer, right? Anyways, guys, Sydney building abandoned 8 months after residents forced out. I'd like to know, like, if you're in this situation, guys, in Australia, add me on Skype and come on our show. Come on Mike in the Night, or come on Trends in the Housing Market Live, and tell us what the heck is going on here. I'd like to know. You know what I'm saying? Add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980 on Skype, and tell us what's going on. Or if you're a builder, if you're a builder and you want to remain undercover, you don't have to tell us who you are. You can just be on speakerphone. Tell us what's going on here undercover. Like, tell us, I was working on a project, and my boss, he told me to do this, and I told him it wasn't right, and he told me to do it anyway. Things like that, because that stuff happens all the time, guys. Anyways, there's a lot of money here. There's a lot of money being lost, and a lot of money being moved around and stuff. There's a lot of crap going on here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are people going to get back the refunds? They've been out of this place and they've been forced out. That's a very good question. And the people that bought, and if there wasn't any aggregative gains in the properties since they bought, could they get that? Would they get the aggregated gains of the value of the property today? Or, yeah, that's an interesting topic for another day, for sure. Let me know what you guys think, and if you want to support this transmission, don't forget to hit me up on Patreon, and I'm also on BitChute. Thanks for watching.